was right.
Did you have some cheese? It's very late. Gotta come to bed, eh?
Gotta break your neck to see the stars in this yard.
You coming in?
Whatever happened to that diamond watch fob? Remember when Ben came from Africa that time? Didn't he give me a watch fob with a diamond in it?
You pawned it there 12, 13 years ago for Ben's radio correspondence course.
Gee, that was a beautiful thing. I'll take a walk.
But you're in your slippers.
I was right. I was. What a man. There was a man worth talking to. I was right.
But you're in your slippers. Willie.
What's he doing out there? God almighty, Mom. How long has he been doing this?
Don't. He'll hear you.
What the hell is the matter with him?
It'll pass 5 in the morning.
Shouldn't we do anything?
Oh, my dear, we should do a lot of things, but there's nothing to do, so go to sleep.
I never heard him so loud, Mom.
We'll come around more often, you'll hear him.
Why didn't you ever write me about this, Mom?
How would I write to you? For over 3 months, he had no address.
I was on the move. But you know, I thought of you all the time. You know that, don't you, pal?
I know, dear, I know, but he likes to have a letter just to know that there's still a possibility for better things.
He's not like this all the time, is he?
It's when you come home, he's always the worst.
When I come home.
When you write you're coming, he's all smiles and talks about the future, and he's just wonderful. And then the closer you seem to come, the more shaky he gets. And then by the time you get here, he's arguing and seems angry at you. I think just that maybe he can't bring himself to open up to you. Why are you so hateful to each other? Why is that?
I'm not hateful, Mom.
But you know sooner come in the door than you're fighting.
I don't know why. I need to change. I'm trying. Mom, don't you understand?
Are you home to stay now?
I don't know. I want to look around and see what's doing.
Viv, you can't look around all your life, can you?
I just can't take hold, Mom. I can't take hold of some kind of life.
Viv, a man is not a bird to come and go with the springtime.
Your hair has gotten so gray.
Oh, it's been great. Since you were in high school, I just stopped dyeing it, that's all.
Dye it again, will ya? I don't want my pal looking old.
You're such a boy. You think you can go away for a year and you got to get into your head now that one day you'll knock on this door and there'll be strange people here.
What are you talking about? You're not even 60, Mom.
What about your father?
Well, I meant him to.
He admires Pop.
Viv, dear, if you don't have any feeling for him, then you can't have any feeling for me.
Sure I can, Mom.
No, you can't just come to see me because I love him. He's the dearest man in the world to me, and I won't have anyone making him feel unwanted and low and blue. You've got to make up your mind now, darling. There's no leeway anymore. Either he's your father and you pay him that respect, or else you're not to come here. I know he's not easy to get along with, but nobody knows that better than me. But...
Hey, Before!
What the hell's the matter with him?
Hey.
Don't go near him.
Stop making excuses for him. He always wiped the floor with you. Never had an ounce of respect for you.
He's always had respect for.
What the hell do you know about it?
Just don't call him crazy.
He's got no character. Charlie wouldn't do this, not in his own house, spewing out that vomit from his mind.
Charlie never had to cope with what he's got to.
People are worse off than Willie Loman. Believe me, I've seen them.
Make Charlie your father, Biff. You can't do that, can you? I don't say he's a great man. Willie Loman never made a lot of money. His name was never in the paper. He's not the finest character that ever lived, but he's a human being, and a terrible thing is happening to him. So attention must be paid. He's not to be allowed to fall into his grave like an old dog. Attention must be finally paid to such a person. You called him crazy.
I didn't mean...
No. A lot of people think he's lost balance, but you don't have to be very smart to know what his trouble is. The man is exhausted.
Sure.
A small man can be just as exhausted as a great man. He's worked for a company 36 years. This March opens up unheard of territories that their trademark, and now in his old age, they take his salary away.
I didn't know that, Mom.
You never asked, my dear. Now that you get your spending money someplace else, you don't trouble your mind with him.
But I gave you the money last.
Christmas time, $50 to fix the hot water. It costs $97.50. For 5 weeks, he's been on straight commission like a beginner and unknown.
Those ungrateful bastards.
Are they any worse than his sons? When he bought them business, when he was young, They were glad to see him, but now his old friends, the old buyers that loved him so and always found some order to hand him in pinch, they're all dead, retired. He used to be able to make 6, 7 calls a day in Boston. Now he takes his out of the car and puts them back and takes them out again. And he's exhausted. Instead of walking, he talks now. He drives 700 miles, and when he gets there, no one knows him anymore. No one welcomes him, and what goes through a man's mind driving 700 miles home without having earned a cent? Why shouldn't he talk to himself? Why? When he has to go to Charlie and borrow $50 a week and pretend to me that it's his pay? How long can that go on? How long? You see what I'm sitting here and waiting for, and you tell me he has no character? The man who never worked a day but for your benefit. When does he get the medal for that? When is this his reward? Turn around at the age of 63 and find his sons who he loved better than his life. One a Philadelphia bum.
Mom.
That's all you are, my baby. And you, what happened to the love you had for him? You were such pals. How you used to talk to him on the phone every night. How lonely he was till he could come home to you.
Alright, Mom. I live here in my room and I'll get a job. I'll keep away from him. That's
No,
all.
Biff. You can't just stay here and fight all the time.
He threw me out of this house, remember that?
Why did you do that? I never knew why.
Because I know he's a fake and he doesn't like anybody around who knows.
Why a fake? In what way? What do you mean?
Just don't lay it all at my feet. It's between me and him. That's all I have to say. And I'll chip in from now on. He'll settle for half my paycheck. He'll be alright. I'm going to bed.
He won't be alright.
I hate this city and I'll stay here. Now what do you want?
He's dying, Biff.
Why is he dying?
He's been trying to kill himself.
How?
I live from day to day.
What are you talking about?
Remember I wrote you that smashed up in the car again in February?
Well,
The insurance inspector came. He said that they have evidence that all the accidents in last year weren't accidents.
How can they tell that? That's a lie.
It seems there's a woman.
what
And this
woman?
woman. What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
What did you say?
Nothing. I just said what woman?
What about her?
Well, it seems she was walking down the road and saw his car. She said that he wasn't driving fast at all and that he didn't skid. She says he came to the little bridge and that deliberately smashed into the railing, and it was only the shallowness of the water that saved him.
Oh no, he probably just fell asleep again.
I don't think he fell asleep.
Why not?
Last month? Oh boys, it's so hard to say anything like this. He's just a big stupid man to you. But I tell you, there's more good in him than in many other people. I was looking for a fuse, the lights blew out, and I went down the cellar, and behind the fuse box, it happened to fall out, was the length of a rubber pipe, just short.
No kidding.
There's a little attachment on the end of it. I knew right away, and sure enough, on the bottom of the water heater, there's a new little nipple on the gas pipe.
That jerk!
Did you have it taken off?
I'm ashamed to. How can I mention it to him? Every day I go down and take away that little rubber pipe, but when he comes home I put it back where it was. How can I insult him that way? I don't know what to do. I live from day to day, boys, I tell you. I know every thought in his mind. It sounds so old-fashioned and silly, but I tell you, he put his whole life into you, and you turned your backs on him. Biff, I swear to God, Biff, his life is in your hands.
How do you like that damn fool?
Alright, pal. Alright. It's all settled now. I've been remiss. I know that. Mom, but now I'll stay, and I swear to you, I'll apply myself. You see, Mom, I don't fit in business. Now that I won't try. I'll try, and I'll make good.
Sure you will. The trouble with you in business was you never tried to please people.
I know,
Like when you worked for Harrison's. Bob Harrison said you were tops, and then you go and do some damn fool thing like whistling whole songs in the elevator like a comedian.
So what? I like to whistle sometimes.
You don't raise a guy to do a responsible job who whistles in an elevator.
Well, don't argue about it now.
Like when you go off and swim in the middle of the day instead of taking the line around.
Well, don't you run off? You take off sometimes, don't you? on a nice summer day.
Yeah, but I cover myself.
Boys,
If I'm going to take a fade, the boss can tell any number where I'm supposed to be, and they'll swear to him that I just left. I'll tell you something that I hate to say, Biff, but in the business world, some of them think you're crazy.
Screw the business world.
Alright, screw it, but cover yourself.
ha!
I don't care what they think. They've laughed at Dad for years, and you know why? Because we don't belong in this nut house of the city. We should be mixing cement on some open plain, or carpenters. A carpenter is allowed to whistle.
Even your grandfather was better than a carpenter. You never grew up. Bernard does not whistle in the elevator, I assume you.
Yeah, but you do, Pop.
I never in my life whistled in an elevator. And who in the business world thinks I'm crazy?
I didn't mean it like that, Pop. Now, don't make a whole thing out of it, will ya?
Go back to the West. Be a carpenter, a cowboy. Enjoy yourself.
Willie, he was just saying.
I heard what he said.
Hey, Pop, come on now.
They laugh at me, eh? Go to Feline's, go to the Hub, go to Slatenary's Boston, call out the name Willie Loman, and see what happens. Big shots.
Alright, Pop.
Big.
Alright.
Why do you always insult me?
I didn't say a word.
He didn't say anything, Willie.
Alright. Good night, good night.
Willie, dear, he just decided.
If you get tired hanging around tomorrow, paint the ceiling I put up in the living room.
I'm leaving early tomorrow.
He's going to see Bill Oliver, Pop.
Oliver? For what?
He always said he'd stake me. I'd like to go into business, so maybe I can take him up on it.
Isn't that wonderful?
Don't interrupt. What's wonderful about it? There's 50 men in the city of New York who'd stake him. Sporting goods?
I guess so. I know something about it, and...
He knows something about it. You know sporting goods better than Spaulding. For God's sake, how much is he giving you?
I don't know. I didn't even see him yet, but...
Then what are you talking about?
Well, all I said was I'm gonna go see him. That's all.
You're counting your chicken again.
Oh, Jesus. I'm going to sleep.
Don't curse in this house!
So when did you get so clean?
Wait,
Don't have this language with me. I won't have it.
wait a minute. I got an idea. I got a feasible idea. Come here, Biff. Let's talk this over now. Let's talk some sense in here. When I was down in Florida last time, I thought of a great idea to sell sporting goods. It just came back to me, you and I, Biff. We have a line, the Loman line. We train a couple of weeks, and then we put on a couple of exhibits, you see?
That's an idea.
Wait, we formed 2 basketball teams, see? 2 water polo teams, we play each other. It's $1 million worth of publicity. 2 brothers, see? The Loman brothers, displaying the royal palms, all the hotels, and banners over the ring and the basketball court. Loman brothers, baby, we could sell sporting goods.
That is $1 million idea.
Marvelous.
I'm in great shape as far as that's concerned.
And the beauty of it is, Biff, it wouldn't be like a business. We'd be out playing ball again.
Yeah, that's...
$1 million.
And you wouldn't give that up with it, Biff. It'd be the family again. There'd be the old honor and camaraderie. And if you wanted to go for a swim and something, well, you do it with some smart cookie getting up ahead of you.
Lick the world. You guys together could absolutely lick the civilized world.
I'll see Oliver tomorrow. Pat, if we could work that out.
Maybe things are beginning to.
Stop interrupting. But don't wear a sport jacket and slacks when you see Oliver.
No,
A business suit and talk as little as possible. Don't crack any jokes.
he didn't like me. Always liked me.
He loved you.
Will you stop? Walk in very serious. You are not applying for a boy's job. Money is to pass. Be quiet, fine, and serious. Everybody likes a kidder, but nobody lends him money.
I'll try to get some myself, Biff. I'm sure I can.
I see great things for you kids. I think your troubles are over. But remember, start big and you'll end big. Ask for 15. How much are you going to ask for?
Geez, I don't know.
And don't say G. G is a boy word. A man walking for a $15,000 does not say G.
10, I think, would be top though.
Don't be so modest. You also started low. Started too low. Walk in with a big laugh. Don't look worried. Start off with a couple of your good stories to lighten things up. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Because personality always wins the day.
Oliver always loved the thought of the highest of him.
Will you let me talk?
Don't yell at her. Pop, will ya?
I was talking, wasn't I?
I don't like you yelling at her all this time, and I'm telling you, that's all.
What are you talking over this house?
Willie?
Don't take his side all the time, god damn it!
Stop yelling at her!
Give my best to Bill Oliver. He'll remember me.
What'd you have to start that for? You see how sweet he was as soon as you talked, hopefully? Come up and say goodnight to him. Don't let him go to bed that way.
Come on, Bill, let's buck him up.
Please, dear, just say goodnight. It takes so little to make him happy. Come. Your pajamas are hanging in the bathroom, Willie.
What a woman. They broke the mold when they made her. You know that, Biff?
He's off salary. My God, working on commission.
Well, let's face it, he's no hot shot selling man, except that sometimes you have to admit he's a pretty sweet personality.
Lend me $10, will ya? I want to buy some new ties.
I'll take you to a place I know. Beautiful stuff. We'll wear one of my striped shirts tomorrow.
She got gray. Mom got awful old. Gee, I'm gonna go into Oliver tomorrow and knock him for a...
Come on up. Tell that to Dad. Let's give him a whirl. Come on.
You know, with $10,000, boy.
That's the talk, Biff. That's the first time I've heard the old confidence out of you. You're gonna live with me, kid. And any baby you want, just say the word.
Can you do anything about the shower? It drips.
All of a sudden, everything falls to pieces. Goddamn plumbing. Ought to be sued. Those people, I hardly finished putting it in, and the thing...
I'm just wondering if Oliver will remember him. You think he might?
Remember him? What's the matter with you? You crazy? If he'd have stayed with Oliver, he'd be on top of you by now. Wait till Oliver gets a look at him. You don't know the average caliber anymore. The average man today got a caliber of 0. Greatest thing in the world for him was to bum around.
Okay.
Glad to hear it, boy.
He wanted to say goodnight to you, sport.
Yeah, knock him dead, boy. What do you tell me? What do you want to tell me?
Just take it easy, Pop. Good night.
And if anything falls off the desk while you're talking to him, like a package or something, don't you pick it up. They have office boys for that.
I'll make a big breakfast.
Will you let me finish? Tell him you were in the business, not in the West. Not farm work.
Alright, Dad.
I think everything...
And don't undersell yourself. No less than $15,000.
Okay. Good night, Mom.
Because you got a greatness in you, Biff, remember that. You got all kinds of greatness.
Sleep well, darling.
I'm gonna get married, Mom. I just wanted to tell you.
Go to sleep, dear.
I just wanted to tell you.
Keep up the good work. God, remember that Ebbets Field game, the championship of the city?
Just rest. Should I sing to you?
Yeah, sing to me. When that team came out, he was the tallest, remember?
Oh, yes. And in gold.
Like a young god, Hercules, something like that. And the sun all around him. Remember how he waved at me up from the field? And with the representation...
Lily, dear, what has he got against you?
I'm so tired. Don't talk anymore.
Will you ask Howard to let you work in New York?
First thing in the morning, everything will be alright. Gee, look at the moon moving between the buildings.